in the northeast in spite of the ravages of insurgency. We have lots more on roads in the southeast and the environment, so come with me on News Extra. In furtherance of the ongoing efforts to address the high cost of living and make life comfortable for Nigerians, the federal government has approved some measures that would boost agricultural production and distribution. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports on this and other deliberations at the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja.
Government had responded to this soaring cost of food items by raising a task force at the last FEC meeting to look into this and make suggestions on how to address it. That task force was given 7 days to carry out its mandate. Minister of Agriculture Audu Ogbe briefed the council on the findings of the task force, which include cost of transportation and other constraints.
We shall be looking into our reserves if the situation in the next few days persists, and to see what we can bring out to lower the prices, because another round of harvests will be coming up again by the end of March. So there is really no starvation in the land. The other factor is what you know already. There's a lot of pressure on Nigerian food from West, North, and Central Africa. So we've considered the following alternatives: using railway wagons along the current railway network. We avoided the multiple taxation that is visited on transporters in this country by local government roadblocks, most of them not very legal, along the highways.
We've approved a set of measures to encourage both the local production as well as to attract more investments into tomato farming, processing, all the way the value chain to how tomato gets to our tables. These measures will include things we're doing to make sure we farm tomato around the year, things like greenhouse equipment, making sure that they can come in without any barriers or duties. And they also include the use of both tariff and non-tariff measures to address an issue Nigerians are extremely concerned about, which is the dumping of products here.
Council also approved some road projects as announced by Minister of Works, Power and Housing, Babatunde Fashola.
Construction of Ilorin Umuaran Kaba Road, section 1 of it, in order to complement the ongoing works on the Kaba Egbe Road to link Kwara and Kogi states. The second approval was for consultancy services for professionals to conduct line route studies, environmental social impact assessment, and resettlement action plan, as well as environmental social management plan, in order for us to access the JICA, Japanese International Cooperation Agency, loan to support TCN to continue its transmission grid expansion program. It's important simply to say that this consultancy for 3 different consultants is about 589 million. And the first project, which is the construction of Ilorin Umuaran Kaba Road, is for 21 billion.
On the President's health, Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says the President is ill and healthy.
I can say it without any equivocation. Mr. President is well, is ill, and is healthy. No question about that.
Acting President Yemi Osinbajo presided over the meeting. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
The Ministry of Trade and Investment has been urged to come up with framework that will make Nigeria to reverse the trend of being a consumer nation and be an exporter of finished products in the international market. Chairman, Senate Committee on Trade and Investment, Fatima Raji Rasaki, stated this at the 2017 budget defense of the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. National Assembly correspondent Waziri Zayano reports.
Chairman Senate Committee on Trade and Investment, Fatima Rajirasaki, called on the Ministry of Industries, Trade and Investment and its agencies to come up with positive contributions during 2017 budget defense in order to help the committee make informed decisions.
You look at your budget, 2017 budget critically, and do those things that is needful.
We had three main areas where our revenue comes in. The first one is incorporation of new companies.
As budget defense at committee levels continue, Director General National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Mohammed Sani Sidi, has told the Senate Committee on Special Duties that 2016 budget implementation for the agency has suffered setback due to delayed release of cash backing.
The proposed budget might look over-ambitious, but for us, I think we are just being moderate.
Chairman of the committee, Abdul Aziz Murtala Nyako, called on NEMA to prudently manage whatever allocation given to it and pledged Senate's continued support at all times. Meanwhile, another impetus to the Senate President's individual campaign for the promotion of Made in Nigeria goods has received a boost with the visit of an American-based entrepreneur. Mrs. Mary Francoise, whose efforts was focusing on Made in Nigeria goods, came to the National Assembly soliciting for legislative backing in such investment fields.
We're designing the clothing made in the American designs, but using the Nigerian fabric. We're using the lace, the brocade, and the print. And because the daishiki is a big hit now in the U.S., we've decided to also come out with a line of the daishiki fabric.
Senate President Bukola Saraki says the Senate is working towards identifying locally made products and ideas that can be matched with investors and government agencies.
And that goes a long way to provide employment for us, take less people off the employed market, and improve our economy. This is what we are really talking about, the kind of initiative that is likely to take us out of recession.
In the meantime, Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs has concluded screening of the 46 non-career ambassadorial nominees. Each nominee answered questions from members of the committee on a wide range of disciplines.
The entire world is in crisis, and this is one skill that I believe I should leverage on: negotiation, and the reaching out.
If there's anybody who goes against any rules and regulations of a country, they should be made to face whatever the punishment is.
What's going on in America is a testing of the powers that the executive have, that the legislature feel that they have, and it's that contest that's taking place.
The committee will forward screen names to the Senate plenary for confirmation. From the National Assembly, Wazir Zayyan, NTA News.
In another development, the Senate Committee on the Federal Capital Territory has given a directive for the FCT Board of Internal Revenue to be constituted within the first quarter of 2017. The resolution was made at the committee's meeting with FCT Minister, Attorney General of the Federation and Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service on the status of the FCT Board in tax collection matters. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
Section 85 of the Act establishing the Federal Capital Territory allows it to serve as a state with the responsibility to set up its own tax collection board. And today, against the backdrop of overstressed facilities due to increased population by the day, makes it imperative for the FCT authority to have a functional tax collection board, especially within the principle of its function as a state. For some time now, such formal institution of revenue collection does not exist in the FCT, and its function is being executed in an ad hoc arrangement under the supervision of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Committee's chairman Dino Melaye described as against the law FCT tax collection arrangement with the FIRS, despite a circular by the federal government and resolution of the National Assembly to ensure inauguration of the FCT Board of Internal Revenue.
With this act coming into force, the FCT would meet the financial requirements to engender a capital territory that we all long for.
This situation of the things is acknowledged and appreciated by the FCT Minister Mohammed Bello, with the commitment to make amend as soon as possible.
I just want to inform the committee that we are 100% in support of all what the chairman of the distinguished committee mentioned. And also I want to appeal to you that give us some little time. The name of the executive chairman will be presented.
The presence of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malemi was to intervene in case of any disagreement between the two parties in relation to the interpretation of the law. In another development, Senate Committee on Environment has held a public hearing on a bill to establish a Erosion Control Commission.
We may have and make meaningful contributions on how this bill can be carefully structured and fine-tuned to achieve its objective of preventing and controlling erosion in Nigeria.
The Senate Committee on Environment will continue to do its best to see that our environment stays green and clean.
Meanwhile, Senate Committee on Sports and Youth Development held a public hearing on the need for amendment of the Act establishing the Lottery Commission.
Looking at the situation in the country today, through lottery, Nigerian economy can be boosted.
Non-remittance of 20% by lottery operators as contained in the Act and lack of automation of the system to track activities of the operators were among other issues identified at the hearing that will lead to the amendment of the Act. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, says a large percentage of the authority's 2017 budget of 6.91 billion naira will go for upgrading of operational facilities to situate itself better as the premium public broadcaster. He stated this when the authority's management team appeared before the Senate Committee on Information and National Orientation for Budget Defense. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
NTA Director General told the committee that they are presently transmitting on digital MPEG-2, which takes a lot of satellite space in addition to high costs in their funding. But with the new MPEG-4 system, the signal is compressed digitally to occupy very little space. He also spoke on upgrading of state capital production facilities.
There is the need to upgrade all the studios to digital for higher quality, especially with digitization looming. We envisage that we'll have a 3-camera digital studio in each state capital in the country, thereby making the overall NTA output very uniform.
Committee members demanded upgrading of archival materials and comprehensive inventory of activities to enable further understanding and how to support NTA.
I'm glad you are mentioning at least that you are already registered to do your own. Maybe while you are at it, you should cooperate with the team corporation to see what you can do for your own.
We must have a special budget for archives, and if you put something there. But we want to see
National Broadcasting Commission, National Orientation Agency, and Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria under the Ministry of Information also defended their budget.
We have projected revenue in 2017 of 2,820,281,200 naira.
The process continues on Thursday. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
Still on budget defense, the federal government has reiterated its commitment towards the realization of projects targeted at environmental safety and sustainability as contained in the 2016 and 2017 budget proposals. Minister of Environment Amina Mohammed stated this when she appeared before the budget defense session of the House Committee on Environment and Habitat. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports.
Explaining that the federal government is mindful of various environmental challenges in the country, Minister Amina Mohammed outlined effort by government to contain environmental pollution, waste management, climate change, and preservation of the ecosystem. She assured that all projects in the 2016 and 2017 Environmental Development Roadmap will be completed.
In the Ministry of Environment over the past decade, there has been an enormous amount of investment in waste-to-wealth programs, but there doesn't appear to be an understanding of what success we've had and how that policy has been actualized. We can better encourage the private sector to partner with us on waste-to-wealth.
The members raised various concerns on the provisions of the 2017 budget of the ministry, including its internally generated revenue projection, issues of ecological funds intervention on gully erosions in the southeast, environmental health challenges in the IDP camps, and projects on climate change also came to the fore.
The work will continue seamlessly between the two arms of government. As usual, we'll work together for the good order, peace of the Federation.
The committee also observed that some of the environmental laws have become outdated and need to be reviewed to enable it address some of the current environmental challenges, as well as to reposition the ministry to carry out its statutory functions effectively for national development. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Away from the National Assembly, economic experts have commended federal government's approval for a revised national tax policy that will entrench an efficient tax system to grow the nation's gross domestic product, GDP. This was part of submissions on NTA's Current Affairs program, Tuesday Live. Talatu Ezerike reports.
Good road network, houses and other infrastructure, as well as quality services are the desire of citizens from government that largely depends on taxation, a global practice for revenue generation. There are, however, hindrances occasioned by corruption, waivers, low taxation, thoughting, evasion, and too much concentration on a particular segment of the society when it comes to payment of tax. The approved new tax policy that is holistic with sanctions to guarantee an enabling environment for voluntary tax payment is one strategy the present administration has adopted to deal with the issue.
Our tax system will work if there is population buy-in. Yeah. It will work. The revised tax policy, beautiful document. It already talks about equity.
There are a lot of areas within the informal sector that have not even been touched with regards to taxes. We will not need to increase income tax rates or whatever, but if we are able to block loopholes in terms of revenue collection.
Others suggest the need to rebuild taxpayers' confidence and ensure the consumers of luxury goods pay higher value-added tax to grow the economy.
We need to take proactive actions towards all this. Let us see example of punishment given to people who are stealing money, our political officers. How much taxes are they paying?
Incentives should be granted as an exception, not as a rule. And the effect must actually be, quantified and measured.
No doubt the body language of government is that of a collective turnaround to get the country out of recession through effective tax system that is working for a state like Lagos. Talati Ezerike, NTA News.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned a senior advocate of Nigeria, Mohammed Dele Belgore, at the Federal High Court, Lagos, for alleged money laundering. Vera Chimuba, who was at the Federal High Court, Ikeja, reports that the former Aviation Minister, Femi Fani-Kayode, is asking Justice Musliu Hassan to disqualify himself from his case.
The learned senior advocate Mohammed Dele Belgore is charged alongside former Minister of National Planning Professor Abubakar Suleiman. They are facing a 5-count charge preferred against them by the EFCC. EFCC is accusing them of conspiring and directly taking possession of the sum of 450 million naira cash payment in excess of the amount authorized by law and without going through a financial institution. The money was said to have been paid to one Sheriff Shagaya. When the charges were read and plea taken, they pleaded not guilty. In an oral application for bail, counsels to accused persons, Ebu Safunde and Bola Ayorinde, prayed the court to grant their clients bail on self-recognizance, given their antecedents and the fact that they had been on administrative bail. Counsel to EFCC, Rotimi Uyedapo, did not oppose the bail application, but urged the court to impose conditions that will compel attendance. Justice Mohammed Aikao granted the request. Meanwhile, former Aviation Minister Femi Fani-Kayode is asking Justice Muslim Hassan to decline jurisdiction in his case and transfer to Abuja Division of the court, as he said he will not get fair hearing. He said Justice Hassan worked as a prosecutor at the Federal Ministry of Justice and later seconded to the EFCC, signed the charge against him when he was previously tried and acquitted by Justice Rita Ofili-Ajimogobia. Former Minister of State Finance Denadi Usman, who is being tried with Fani-Kayode, is also asking the court to grant her permission to travel abroad to receive treatment for breast cancer after suffering a relapse following surgery. That application could not be heard because Justice Hassan ruled that he will first consider application challenging court's jurisdiction. 23rd of February and 1st of March have been fixed for hearing. In Lagos, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
The Buhari Media Support Group has appealed to Nigerians to support acting President Yemi Osinbajo's call for religious harmony and national unity for the sake of growth and development of the nation. The group maintained that when there is no religious tolerance and national unity, peace becomes elusive and hardly room for implementation of government programs and projects that will promote the welfare of the citizenry. While describing the acting president's comments as the words of a true leader, the group also noted that his famous quote, "Hate is the enemy of faith in our nation," came at a time when unpatriotic statements and comments from some Nigerians had become the order of the day. The group also observed that the unpatriotic statements which were made when the nation's polity is so heated up were uncalled for, as Nigeria needs supportive comments and not comments that are divisive. They believe that the call for harmony and unity is a sure way for a lasting and enduring peace, which will ultimately lead to economic prosperity of the nation. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Still to come, update on Kaduna Airport as it prepares for more air traffic, plus Naseni and the challenges of homegrown technologies. We'll be right back.
Get the best deal in town. Glow is giving away 4G LTE smartphones absolutely free. Get this super stylish 4G LTE smartphone free when you buy a 48,000 Naira data bundle. This stunning 4G LTE smartphone free when you buy a 60,000 Naira data bundle. Or this state-of-the-art 4G LTE smartphone free when you buy a 75,000 Naira data bundle. The ideal phones for 4G, 3G and 2G. Plus, with Glow, you always enjoy 4G for the same price as 3G. Hurry to the nearest Glow World for the best deal in town. Welcome to the new speed of life.
Bonjour. In Aquana.
I can say without equivocation that my glimpse of the facilities, staff and students as I drove around and chatted with them, this campus leaves me or anyone in no doubt that the setting of this university is superlatively impressive, with nothing of its kind that I have seen so far in the country or anywhere else.
Afe Babalola University, the fastest growing educational institution in Africa.
Beautiful things are happening when the sun goes down, and when the night is darkest, that's the time our light shines bright. It's good to take some time away, to put a smile on someone's face, to smile for me, smile for you, smile because you know that happiness is sure. Let your joy be more. So everywhere you go, you can make your laughter loud. Oh, you don't have to be there to make your presence felt. No matter where you are, we can be together in love. Oh, together in love. Happiness is sure. Let your joy be more. So everywhere you go, you can make your laughter loud. Oh, you don't have to be there to make your presence felt. No matter where you are, we can be together in love. Oh, together in love. Oh, no matter where you live, together in love. Oh, no matter where you are, together in love.
The Honorable Minister of Education, Malam Adamu hereby reminds all candidates who have successfully completed the Bilateral Education Agreement Scholarship Award nomination interview form online that the interview remains as scheduled to take place simultaneously in all geopolitical zones from Monday 13th to Friday 17th February 2017. Candidates are hereby advised to attend the interview at the centers designated for their geopolitical zones of origin with all relevant documents as advertised. From 9 a.m. daily at the following centers: Northwest, Kaduna State University Main Campus; Northeast, Taraba, Federal Government Girls College, Jalingo; North Central, Kogi, Crowder Memorial College, Lokoja; Southwest, Oyo, Crowder School of Science, Okebola, Ibadan; South, Delta, Federal College of Education, Technical, along Asaba Ibuzo Road, Asaba; Southeast, Ebonyi, Law Faculty, Ebonyi State University, Abakaliki. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Education, announcer.
The Tony Elumelu Foundation's $100 million entrepreneurship program is empowering Africa's next business leaders. 10,000 entrepreneurs, 54 countries. Become a Tony Elumelu entrepreneur. Apply now.
Hello? Welcome to the M6 Challenge. Using your new Gioni M6, carry out everything on that list. Starting now. Get to the door. Congratulations, you have passed the test.
Gioni M6 with a 5,000 milliamp battery that lets you go on for 2 days on a single charge.
Gioni M6, always in power.
The Future Assured project and its components, Get Involved, initiated by the wife of the President, Her Excellency Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is not relenting in championing the cause of Nigerian women and children. Its provision of free medical screening, educational support, and the fight against malnutrition, especially in the Northeast, has indeed informed international recognition, partnerships and awards.
We are very grateful and appreciative for your wonderful gesture you have accorded to us.
With Future Assured, Nigerian women and children are assured of a bright future.
Future is assured when we join hands to promote the health of our women and children. Get involved.
Get involved and support the Future Assured initiative. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
If you're just joining us, this is NTA News Extra. As the countdown to the diversion of international flights from Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja to Kaduna begins, agencies concerned are stepping up efforts to see that the deadline for Kaduna Airport to take on the challenge is met. Eugenia Ukwezi reports.
This is the new remodeled terminal for Kaduna International Airport, where a lot of activities are going on for the completion of Kaduna Terminal building and other facilities before the 8th of next month. Workers were on ground assembling conveyor belts while reconstruction work is ongoing at the departure, check-in and waiting areas. The structural aspect has been completed, while other key components are on ground waiting for installation. Stakeholders like Nigerian Customs Service were also at the airport for on-the-spot assessment. Amina Ozi Salami is the airport manager.
The tiling is completed. The ACs, I think they have done up to 80%. And what we really want to do now is to ensure that the ceiling is in place before 28th of February. And that is the major work that is to be done in the terminal building.
Apart from relocation of mobile tower from Abuja International Airport to Kaduna, are there other challenges?
The state government is also assisting in the area of our porous perimeter fence, which has been an issue. Right now, with the state government assistance, all the porous portions are going to be closed, and the villagers will no longer be able to cross our active runway.
Kaduna State government has also embarked on massive reconstruction of critical facilities, including roads, to deal with the expected rise in vehicular and human traffic. One of such projects is the 5.1-kilometer road from Rigasa Railway Terminus down to Mando to Kaduna International Airport.
For this deadline for the relocation of this airport, this road will be passable.
This is the dual carriageway that will link Kaduna International Airport to Rigasa Railway Station. Passengers who wish to travel by rail from Abuja to Kaduna Airport will not have to transverse the length and breadth of Rigasa and the Western Bypass to get to the airport. In Kaduna, Eugenia Ukweze for News Extra.
The National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, is an agency set up by the federal government to produce homegrown technologies. But since its establishment in 1992, the Research Institute has produced a number of research results yearning for commercialization. House Committee Chairman Benila, impressed by the state-of-art technology by the Institute, wonders why the products cannot be replicated in great quantity for the benefit of Nigerians. Science correspondent Kiran Umayo reports.
NASENI has developed technologies such as 7.5 kilowatt solar energy facility, propeller turbines power generation technology, 35 kilowatt cross-flow small hydro turbine, 5 kilowatt kinetic hydro turbine facility, first made in Nigeria tricycle and motorcycle, nano science and nano medical facilities. These technologies, including rotary furnace manufacturing technology, transformer integrated cassava flour manufacturing facility, energy-saving bulb technology, and multi-grain threshing machine facility, and the voting machine, all are lying on the shelves of NASENI, as not much has been done to commercialize them. Chairman House Committee on Science and Technology, Benila, says it is not possible to achieve economic development, job creation, and skills development without an efficient engineering and product development institute like NASENI.
We want to see more activity, and I think what we are seeing is tells us that we need to put more in that, more effort in that regard. We need to talk to see how we can also expand the scope of what we're doing.
She promised to take up the issue of funding with Budget Office to critically review the funding of NASENI and similar institutes under the Ministry of Science and Technology. Director General of NASENI, Professor Mohammed Sani Haruna, noted that successful collection of statutory levy will reduce total dependency of NASENI on government funding.
In order to ensure collaboration, we used to call private sector to come and take our products, or we sell the technology to them. In fact, we even innovated a way in which we would commence doing the research and development from day one with the private sector, so that the output product is exactly according to their specification.
The nation to successfully make its own technology-based products, experts believe there must be a synergy between the research institute, the manufacturing sector, and government for easy transition of prototypes from laboratory to the marketplace. Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
On the political scene, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) says it is holding talks with 7 other parties to form alliance in the 2019 general elections. This is coming as the party is considering scrapping of indirect system of conducting primaries. Political correspondent Abdullah Garba reports.
The event was a presentation of a report of the PDP Strategy and Inter-Party Affairs Committee set off in November last year. The committee, headed by Professor Jerry Ghana, using 11 syndicate groups, reviewed party state of affairs, identified problem areas, and made recommendations in an 11-chapters document.
To create a new and positive image for PDP, the report places emphasis on attitudinal changes by leaders at all levels.
Among many other things, there is one fundamental change which PDP must stand for: institutional reform. Only one report, and that report is for the PDP to continue as PDP.
The presentation of the report was witnessed by some founding fathers of the PDP, including Malam Adam Chiroma.
The party must promote the interest of every Nigerian wherever they want.
In the life of an individual and in the life of a political party, there comes a time when things change. You have ups and downs.
May you lead in what appears like politics without bitterness. The leadership of the People's Democratic Party observed both Muslims and Christian prayers, except return of President Muhammadu Buhari.
This country
Abdullahi Garba
is in crisis.
194 suspected bandits, including a quack medical personnel terrorizing communities in Niger State, have been arrested by the police. The State Police Command also received 612 cattle and handed them over to their owners.
AK-47 rifles with 648 rounds of live ammunition, 21 single-barrel guns with 249 cartridges, 1 revolver rifle, 5 revolver shotguns, and 6 Ghana-made pistols were recovered from the suspects. Other items include a locally made pistol, 9 Dane guns, bows and arrows, knives, and other dangerous weapons, all recovered from the suspects. 35 of the 194 suspects were paraded before newsmen, while others are said to have been charged to court for offenses ranging from kidnapping, cattle rustling to robbery. Among the suspects is a quack medical personnel who takes care of criminals' health challenges in their hideouts.
The General Police Force, in collaboration with other sister security agencies, took this battle to dens of these armed bandits.
On Lawal Kwali, a notorious criminal in the state, the police commissioner said
he has been engaged by a combined team of our DPO in Kagara, our OC in Mariga, who is in Bangi Division, Mariga local government, and of course with the collaboration of some vigilante group.
The commissioner, while calling on the people of the state to continue to provide useful tips, avoid raising false alarm and rumor mongering, said communication has remained a challenge in the fight against crime.
But with the deployment of armored personnel carriers, APCs, we're able to make it much easier now.
However, normalcy is said to have returned to communities around the state that were earlier sacked by the armed bandits. In Mina, Fatima Usman, NTA News.
Nigeria is set to join 6 other ECOWAS member states in the fight against the misuse of small arms and light weapons, with the launch of the ECOWAS EU Small Arms Project in Abuja on Thursday. Defense correspondent Isaac Nkuma was at a press briefing by the program coordinators and now reports.
The launch of the Nigerian component of the project symbolizes the full mainstreaming of Nigeria into the ECOWAS EU Small Arms and Light Weapons map-up and destruction. The pilot project, worth €2.13 million, an equivalent of 638 million naira, will be funded by the European Union, with UNDP as the implementing partner and the Presidential Committee on Small Arms and Light Weapons as supervisors.
At the international level, the UN Program of Action is saying no, anytime any member state
recover, any weapon, either from crime or conflict scenes, promptly destroyed. The ECOWAS Convention at our level also, we need to destroy them.
Targets the project facilitators say will be border communities in Kaduna, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, and Zamfara states in the northwest, with Akwa Ibom and Cross River in the south-south.
We want to have a situation where the communities work with security apparatus to be able to stop the proliferation of small arms. So it goes beyond just sensitization. It involves building community resilience, building community relationships and capacity to respond to the issues of small arms.
The project has 5 output areas cutting across sensitization, arms mop-up and destruction to provision of alternative livelihood options through skills acquisition of €800 for trainings and €1,000 for startup capital.
We are going to do this by going to these states to conduct town hall meetings. We'll conduct town hall meetings in each of these states to meet the people, to discuss with the people, and let them know what the project is all about and what we expect from them in return.
It is projected that in the next 2 years, when the first phase ends, about 400 militants will be reintegrated to the society. In Abuja, Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Gabriel Olonishaki, has reiterated that the Nigerian military has always been guided by the principles of human rights protection in its operations and engagements. The CDS made this known when the Project Implementation Committee of the National Human Rights Commission and its partners visited him at the Defense Headquarters, Abuja. Represented by the Chief of Defense Policy and Plans, Air Vice Marshal Bashir Saidu, the CDS assured the team that the armed forces of Nigeria would continue to respect the rights of citizens in its operations in the Northeast and elsewhere, stressing that the military has also established human rights desks in all its formations, units and operational areas across the country.
The military has always been guided by the desire to observe human rights and avoid violation of such as much as possible. And make sure that our rules of engagement are very apt and we ensure that these things are strictly followed and adhered to by all troops operating in the Northeast, and not only in the Northeast but throughout the country.
Acting Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission, Oti Anupe Ovrawa, said the team had come to seek collaboration with the Nigerian military at both national and field command levels in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states in the project aimed at promoting human rights accountability in the prosecution of counterinsurgency operations in the states. A string of new small businesses has begun to emerge within internally displaced persons camps in the Northeast, as many there struggle for improved standard of living. The women folk are taking the lead, establishing petty trade and other small businesses ahead of the anticipated return to their homes. Correspondent Usman Aliu visited IDP camps in Adamawa State, where women inspire with their resolve to survive.
The will to survive here is intense. Many women have shown strength to start afresh. The women constitute more than half the population of Damari IDP camp in Adamawa State. Their lives capture past stories of pains and now the renewed struggle to survive. Hawamadi typifies the resilient spirit now prevalent in the IDP camp. Her family of 6, her husband and 4 children, arrived at the Damari camp, having fled their home in Goza, Borno State, with nothing to their name. Hawa began knitting, a hobby she turned into trade, which grew into a tailoring business in camp.
Before now, I do not know how to sew clothes. I learned this skill here in this camp.
The idea of self-reliance is growing with the women in IDP camps. Most of them previously had small businesses and so already had an idea of what to do. Some others are comfortable learning new skills, drawing inspiration from the new businesses which spring up daily within the camps.
Prices vary. I sold something like 600 naira, but the remaining are sold 3,500, 4,000 and 5,000 naira.
We were idle as refugees. The opportunity came. Some of us went for tailoring. We take interest on this. Thank God we are benefiting.
The production of wares in camps may be rudimentary, but the will of these women to survive is strong and lends itself to better opportunities. These petty trades have improved the local economy of the IDP camps, servicing the needs of the inhabitants and ultimately registering hope. Usman Aliu, NTA News.
Women in the IDP camps making the best of the situation they found themselves. Now, current societal challenges are enormous. Therefore, those in leadership positions should prioritize their development plans according to the needs of the people they serve. The Emir of Kano, Malam Muhammad Sanusi II, gave the challenge at the conferment of an award of outstanding leadership and efforts at addressing security challenges on the governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yahaya Bello, by the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris. Adina Justice brings us details.
I present this award to you on behalf of all the intelligent police force.
Before the coming into power of Yahaya Bello as governor of Kogi State on the 27th of January 2016, just a year ago, the statistics showed a high incidence of crimes, high rates of kidnapping, armed robbery, and herder-farmer conflicts. But the people now say, in less than a year, those crimes had dropped significantly. To the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, the governor's effort in partnering with security agencies, especially the police, should not go unrecognized.
When I came in as the Inspector General of Police, was the first to donate some operational vehicles to the Nigerian police. Since he gave me, we made a lot of progress in addressing security issues in Kogi State.
Members of the armed forces in that state attest to the governor's seriousness about security.
The Emir of Kano, Alhaji Muhammad Sanusi II, while commending the achievement of Yahaya Bello in just a little time, urged public office holders to see their office as a responsibility and opportunity to serve the people.
We must do the right things on the economic front, on the education front, on the governance front. And finally, please let us define our priorities.
The surgical operation that is conducting, people are mistaking it for shunting. But we're happy.
Honor is bestowed on my youngest governor, both in age and in term of office.
Governor Yahaya Bello, while thanking the police force for the honor, assured Kogi people that the state is set to witness a new direction in the next 3 years.
We are not just investing on security infrastructure. We are equally embarking on so many other infrastructures that will make Kogi State safe.
Police is telling him by this award to do more for the state. Adina Justice, NTA News.
The National Judicial Council has recommended the renewal of Justice Walter Onogan's tenure as Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, which expires tomorrow, Thursday, 9th February. The National Judicial Council meeting, presided over by the Deputy Chairman of the NJC, Justice Tanko Mohammed, made the recommendation pending the appointment of a substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria. Following the enforcement of the installation of speed limit device on commercial vehicles by the Federal Road Safety Corps, some motorists are of the opinion that the exercise should be suspended pending when the country is out of recession, as most of them are yet to install the device. Aliu Tukur has details.
The speed limiting device is one of the measures taken by the Federal Road Safety Corps to curb the high rate of traffic accidents occasioned by overspeeding. Statistics shows that over 50% of crashes are as a result of overspeeding. Sensitization on the use of the device began in 2015, while full implementation and enforcement commenced on the first day of February. 1 week into implementation, reports indicate that more passengers, especially interstate,
are getting stranded in motor parks, as a lot of transport companies that have not installed the speed limiting device have withdrawn their vehicles for fear of arrest and other reasons.
The price is too much, 40,000. Storing money, 5,000 naira. Where are we going to get to that money?
This speed limit, it will not work. The reason why is that we don't even have road.
Most of these distributors, they don't actually have it on the ground. It's not the fault of any driver. So they have to import before they start. So I will also advise road safety to mellow down the enforcement.
Efforts to talk to some established transportation companies failed, as they say they do not have the permission of their head office to discuss on the issue. The FRSC, however, says there is no going back, as it has already impounded over 1,000 vehicles, 34 of which were taken to mobile courts, 3,900 booked, and over 5,000 are cautioned.
Well, it is that we want everyone, especially all the commercial drivers and operators, they should cooperate with us, because it is not for our own gain, but for their own ultimate gain. Because at the end of the day, their property will be secured and the lives of the drivers, the owners, and other road users will be saved.
Transport unions say they will sanction members who do not comply.
Most of the drivers they are not doing the vehicle. So a member will hold the vehicle. So we tell the owner to enforce it. If the driver says must not buy them, take the vehicle from me and give another person.
In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
And the hardship encountered by road travelers in the southeast due to deplorable condition of the roads is gradually giving way to smooth ride and increase in socio-economic activities. Works and Housing correspondent Mohammed Hamza Sheikh, just back from the region, examines the project in the southeast and their impact on the economy.
For 3 years and above, federal road projects in the southeast were abandoned, mainly due to non-payment to contractors handling them. During that period of abandonment, most of the roads which were constructed during the colonial days and the high volume of traffic on them suffered various deformations and distresses, thereby significantly affecting socio-economic activities in the region. But with the recall of contractors after initial payment to them by the present administration, almost all road projects in the southeast are now ongoing. In all states of the southeast, therefore, road projects of various length and scope are currently at different stages of completion. In Imo State, for instance, the ongoing projects include construction of dual carriageway on Owerri-Aba Ikot-Ekpene border, linking Akwa Ibom, Abia, and Imo states. Mbise-Ngwa Road, linking Abia to Imo State, and the rehabilitation, expansion, and improvement of the Owerri-Umuahia Road, with the construction of a roundabout at Akahira Junction, which is aimed at eliminating daily traffic gridlock caused by converging heavy trucks. 5 of the federal road projects in Ebonyi State have received the blessing of the state government's intervention to the tune of about 25 billion naira, which the federal government gave assurance of refunding. However, work is ongoing on other federal road projects, including the construction of Ohafia Oso Road, which links Ebonyi to Abia State, Inenwe Uduma Oburu Road, which connects Ebonyi to Enugu, and the rehabilitation of Abakaliki Afikpo Road.
Government at the federal level is blind to party when it comes to development. Every state of this federation is part of the constituency of Mr. President, and we have his mandate to partner with, not to compete with the states.
Abia State has about 10 federal road projects, including the Abriba Arochukwu or Hafia Road, which links Arochukwu to the oil-producing states of Akwa Ibom and Cross River, the Aba Ikot-Ekpene Road, which links Abia to Akwa Ibom State, and the all-important Enugu-Port Harcourt dual carriageway, which connects all the 5 states of the southeast and the neighboring south-south region. The Enugu-Port Harcourt dual carriageway is one of the most viable roads in the southeast. It has economic and social importance. It covers about 218 kilometers and linking about 5 states in the southeast.
As we close on 2016 budget and 2017 comes in, then you will see the second rain. That's the rain that brings the coolness. That's the rain that brings the result.
The construction and expansion of Enugu-Port Harcourt dual carriageway and other road projects in the southeast are steadily bringing back economic and social activities in the region through job creation and opening up markets for both petty and big businesses, while travel time and vehicle maintenance costs are significantly reduced. Muhammad Hamza Sheikh, NTA News.
Indeed, Hamza, this will definitely improve the economic activities in the southeast and Nigeria as a whole. Now, Nasarawa state government is to construct the deplorable NTA Lafia Road, among other roads in the state, before the onset of the rains this year. Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura said this when he led a team of engineers and contractors handling the project of feasibility studies of NTA Lafia Road. Joshua Ojito has details.
Road constructions across Nasarawa State is one cardinal project of the state government under its urban renewal program to link rural communities as well as provide network of roads. But one road that is in dire need of attention is the deplorable NTA Lafia Road, which since the establishment of the station over 15 years ago has remained a nightmare to staff of the station and other commuters plying the road. However, the recent visit of the Director General of NTA, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, to Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura in Lafia brought respite to staff of NTA Lafia as the deplorable state of the road was brought to the attention of the state government, the request which was granted.
And I assure you, before the end of this year, the road between the Amba Bridge and the television station will be tarred. Thank you, ma'am.
Already, the state government has approved the contract for the construction of NTA Lafia Road to be delivered before the onset of the rainy season. During his unscheduled visit to NTA Lafia, Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura commended NTA for professionalism in television broadcasting and said the state government will continue to support NTA Lafia in order to provide an enabling environment for the station to discharge its responsibilities to the people of the state.
So we will embark on the project very, very soon. And by God's grace, the rainy season, the upcoming rainy season, will not get to Kapanaway.
And away from road construction, market development is another sector that Nasarawa state government is focusing on, with the construction and remodeling of more markets across the state. This is to promote small and medium-scale enterprises as well as prevent outbreak of fire disasters. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Up ahead, the fashion and garment industry gets a push. We'll bring you details shortly. Stay with us.
For the very first time in Nigeria, the goodness of vegetable and fruit juice. Introducing Chivita Active Vegetable Fruit Nectar. Available in carrot orange, beetroot grapes, and beetroot apple. For the very first time in Nigeria, the goodness of vegetable and fruit juice. Introducing Chivita Active Vegetable Fruit Nectar. Available in carrot orange, beetroot grapes, and beetroot apple.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Thank you for being there. Stakeholders advocate self-regulation and proper handling of food for the development of the nation's food industry as the Bank of Industry's masterclass sessions to empower operators of government and fashion design industry kicks off in Lagos. Amich Pius has details.
A warm welcome to Business News and thanks for joining us. A skill acquisition exercise tagged masterclass session aimed at empowering operators in the nation's garment and fashion design industry has commenced in Lagos. The training, which will expose beneficiaries to modern skills and styles in the entire value chain, is the initiative of the Bank of Industry. Acting Managing Director of the bank, Waheed Olagoju, who inspected some of the local products, told newsmen that the idea is to boost non-oil export and also create wealth and job opportunities for thousands of Nigerians.
Many of the products that are on display here today are of international standards, but our entrepreneurs don't know how to get out there. So that was why we brought her here at the Development Finance Institution. We sponsored her to come to Nigeria to help build the capacity of Nigerian entrepreneurs to sharpen their skills.
I consider a lot of these businesses as hobbies and make them multi-million, multinational businesses.
The sourcing, the designing, the pattern drafting and all that. It's not just, one-man show. It's a huge thing, and people need to have the expertise.
The session will hold in Lagos and Abuja. There's an urgent need for processors and other stakeholders in the food industry to adhere strictly to standard rules and ensure proper handling of food to attain food safety in Nigeria. This was the thrust of discussions by participants at the just concluded 4th Nigeria Food Safety and Investment Forum in Lagos. The interactive forum examined issues of standardization in food processing, Nigerian value chain improvement, and food safety industry development. Participants agreed that self-regulation and the need to create public awareness is critical towards achieving quality in food safety.
We need to continue talking to the people. We need to change mentality about food safety. It's about ourselves first.
And that's Business News. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Amici. NTA Maiduguri Zonal Network Center has been commended for operating effectively in an environment threatened by unwholesome activities of Boko Haram insurgents, which led to wanton loss of lives and property in the last 6 years. Sheikh of Borno, Abubakar Umar Ibn Garbay Al-Kanami, gave the commendation when the Director General of the NTA, Yakub Ibn Muhammad, paid him homage at his palace in Maiduguri. Naomi Abaku reports.
Briefing the DG NTA, the royal father described Boko Haram incidents in Borno over the years as barbaric, un-Islamic and unacceptable to any religion. Historically, he noted, Khan Borno Empire existed for 1,000 years, having played a vital role in trans-Sahara trades and known as the home of peace for decades. The Sheikh also explained that due to accommodating and hospitable nature of the people of Borno, most of the crisis experienced were initiated and injected into the state by non-indigenous. DG NTA Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, while commiserating with the Sheikh and the people of Borno, expressed delight over the relative peace being enjoyed and prayed for the peace to be sustained, as well as the state to thrive like it did in good times.
I have chosen to come to Maiduguri because of the importance of the zonal center here in Maiduguri, taking into account the journey that has brought Borno State in general and Maiduguri in particular to where we are today.
He assured the royal father that NTA will key into the federal and state government's effort towards reconstruction, rehabilitation and reconciliation process now that peace has come to stay in Borno. NTA Maiduguri Zonal Director Lawan Omar Lalo thanked the Shehu for the warm reception accorded the DJ and his entourage. In Maiduguri, Naomi Aboku, NTA News.
Activities of fraudsters who use illegal centers to register unsuspecting candidates for JAMB is a thing of concern to authorities and Nigerians alike, as it is disruptive to the education sector. In this special report, Abdullahi Musa Suleja takes a look at the ugly development and efforts by the Joint Admissions Matriculations Board to nip it in the bud.
JAMB is mandated to conduct examinations into universities, polytechnics, monotechnics and colleges of education. With increasing number of applicants and to make it less cumbersome, the manual registration procedure was upgraded to use of scratch cards in cyber cafes. Later, centers were designated to register candidates and conduct examination, after which some unscrupulous ones were discovered to be engaging in sharp practices, bringing to the fore Link Services Limited, which makes requests for huge sum of money from intending candidates. Thanks to the eagle's eyes of JAMB authorities that spread their tentacles and got the relevant government authorities to fight the menace of what is seized as illegal and fraudulent.
We have not started the sale of 2017 application form. And even when we do, we are not doing through the sale of cash cards. See, and we are going to pay to TSA account. Many of these fraudsters have been arrested in Advocacy, Bekuta, Oshogbo, Port Harcourt, in Abuja here.
National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, played a role in cracking down on the scammers.
We look at even the websites that the JAMB complained to us. We were able to discover those who created the website and shut down all these websites bearing .ng. And we reached international bodies that manage .com and called their attention to immediately suspend .com because these .coms were using their websites and collecting people's money, claiming that they are the JAMB body, that is JAMB.com.
Already, some suspects have been arrested by the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps.
Based on our intelligence, we were able to know that the suspect has engaged himself in fraudulent sale of fake JAMB form. Our men swapped into action and arrested him.
On its earlier system of using scratch card, the examination body said that has been discarded.
I've cancelled the sale of scratch card because people are really, that's where I can say some of our staff are guilty. By selling scratch card, not remitting the money to government posts and so on, that many of our staff are involved in. We have told all the CBT center owners that it is a compulsory condition for the use of your center to be under CCTV camera because that's the international practice.
The public is hereby advised to approach JAMB rather than those opposing as its agents. In Abuja, Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
What's in the air in Port Harcourt? We'll tell you about the concerns regarding the atmosphere in the Garden City when we return. Stay with us.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
When you look at the world today, what do you see? The obvious or much more? Do you hear a caller tune of the talents of thousands paying off? Do you see an instant message of millions of strengthened relationships? Do you see an app or creative entrepreneurs? An email or multiples of successful business transactions? Do you see charity or renewed faith in our shared humanity? Do you hear the laughter of millions of people in Africa's largest family? It's never enough to see only what's before us. That's why MTN is empowering a tomorrow that's driven by digital technology and made for Africa by Africans.
What makes a Niger mom powerful?
I encourage my kids to learn new things. And if they get hurt, I rely on the power of my Dettol's One Capful. To fight germs, it's like my own first aid kit.
My family needs protection from germs. I use the power of Dettol's One Capful to disinfect surfaces and clothes to keep them clean and safe from germs.
I trust the power of Dettol's One Capful for bathing. The power of Dettol's One Capful protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Millions of powerful Niger moms use the power of Dettol's One Capful to protect their families. Be a powerful Niger mom with Dettol. Be 100% sure.
Do you crave class? Do you have taste? And do you care about comfort? If you do, then for your next event, a stay away from home, a business trip, or a holiday, visit Jade's Hotel at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Check out our world-class services, exquisite suites, restaurant and bar, gymnasium, spa and grills, and our outdoor catering services and cuisines. At Jade's, it can only be better. For bookings and reservations, visit us today at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, or visit www.jadeshotels.com. Our email address is info@jadeshotels.com. You can also call us on 09291-9321 or 0810-909-7956. Jade's Hotels. Welcome to life.
The production, distribution, and sale of counterfeit and fake drugs is a corrupt practice and a crime against humanity. This has informed several measures and strategies to combat fake drugs, including introduction of anti-counterfeiting cutting-edge technologies to detect fake drugs on the spot. These technologies are being deployed to all the states across the Federation, as well as the internally displaced people's camps. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, and his team are committed to this fight.
The federal government of Nigeria, in line with its anti-corruption agenda and posture, will fight a total war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products in order to ensure that Nigerians remain healthy and well.
Lend your support and join NAFDAC to rid the country of fake drugs and unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA News Extra. The residents of Port Harcourt, the River State capital, are experiencing worry over the recent appearance of soot in the atmosphere, a situation they say has further made the environment unhealthy. Osinachi Samuel reports.
Black soot includes the black particles composed by carbon and produced by incomplete combustion of coals, oil, wood, or other fuels. Soot can consist of acids, chemicals, metals, or soil and dust, and the particles are extremely tiny in powder form. According to refiners, soot is the byproduct of the burning of fossil fuels, which is not environmentally friendly. The recent appearance of black soot in the city of Port Harcourt is generating concern.
It's damaged a lot of things like our clothes. I would say the environment has been polluted. And for the fact that the environment has been polluted, your home has been polluted.
It leads to a lot of upper respiratory tract infection, cough, catarrh, asthma, bronchitis, bronchiectasis, and hay fever and pneumonias.
The general manager, Port Harcourt Refining Company, Dr. Dalfred, blamed the appearance of black suits on illegal oil activities by bunkers and vandals. To avoid this ugly situation, the Rivers State House of Assembly recently mandated the House Committee on Environment to check the activities of companies operating in the state and their level of compliance to environmental laws.
I want to say that the ministry should, as a matter of urgency, carry out an investigation to know which company is polluting our environment.
Research has shown that many premature deaths are directly related to soot in the environment, and so residents of Port Harcourt are calling on relevant stakeholders to check the activities of oil companies in the region. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Samuel, NTA News.
Now, when you hear host communities, so many things come to mind because of the numerous stories people have heard about host communities. Well, Elizabeth Owom-Tuoma took a trip to Ekosidi, the host community of the University of Benin, and this is what she brought back.
Ekosidi community in Abuja Northeast local government area is about 10 minutes drive from Ring Road, otherwise called King Square. The community hosts the University of Benin, and this has brought socio-economic development to the area. A visit to the community shows that small businesses are thriving, as students have also become employers of labor, while landowners are taking advantage of the youth student population, who cannot get accommodation to put up structures for accommodation.
Those of us who live around in Ekosidi, for instance, we are car drivers, there are keke napep drivers, and a lot of students stay in the community, and so they patronize us.
To ourselves, as we grow rich now, if we say we want to go part-time, it will still enable us to go.
If not be this Unibe, because nobody recognize this kind of place because it's too dull, it's too far. Like through this Unibe, now they can't be popular.
Then they come make hair. They still they come bake cake. They go still come, they go buy.
The story of Ekosidi can be likened to a tale of two cities. The university community enjoys the best of facilities, including uninterrupted power supply, but that is not the case with the host community. The only secondary school is in a dilapidated state, as students learn in ramshackle structures without facilities for learning and assimilation, while the roads, which was once upgraded by Uniben, still remains in bad state.
They should assist us in security, in road, and in light.
I've not seen any impact from the University of Benin. Even the roads, they are bad, no good market structure, and the air center, they are not well composed.
If you help us, I will cry out through the government hand for them to liaise with Ekosidi to come and work in our community.
You go to Ekosidi, they just cut us off. Road, there. Water, there. Lights, there.
Thousands of skilled and unskilled workers could affect the lives of thousands of several communities. The miracle of setting up one of such institutions, no matter how small, across the country, observers say it will work magic on the Nigerian economy. In Benin, Elizabeth Owom-Tuoma, NTA News.
Indeed, we hope the authorities will extend the infrastructure to Ekosidi. Now we have sports upcoming in the next segment. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
The federal government's social investment program has begun. The poorest and most vulnerable in the land get 5,000 naira monthly, and phase 1 has started in 9 states of the federation. 200,000 unemployed graduates have been engaged in the N-Power Volunteer Corps, designed to engage 500,000 people. 5.5 million children will be fed regularly in the homegrown school feeding program, which kicked off in 3 states last year, with 9 more to be added this year. And under the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP, thousands of cooperatives, market women, farmers and enterprising youth have been receiving between 10,000 and 100,000 naira soft loans since November 2016. The Social Investment Program has begun. It can only get better. We promise change. Change is here.
Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogerola. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
Thanks for being there on NTA News Extra. Somalis celebrate as ex-Prime Minister Mohamed Abdullahi emerges new president, and Equatorial Guinea moves its capital from Malabo. For these and more, let's join Ronke Kolawole on Global Tidbits.
54-year-old Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo scores 194 votes to defeat the incumbent president Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, who got 97. President Mohamud has conceded defeat. He took office in 2012. The 328 members of parliament who elected the president cast their votes in a heavily guarded aircraft hangar in the capital, Mogadishu. The Central African country, Equatorial Guinea, has moved its headquarters from the capital, Malabo, to Jibloho, an unfinished city deep in the rainforest. The president, Obiang Nguema, said security was a major reason for moving the capital. And now to South Africa, where President Jacob Zuma has ordered the deployment of about 440 troops to the parliament ahead of his annual State of the Nation address on Thursday to guarantee security. Opposition parties condemned the action, describing it as declaration of war. In the United Kingdom, the bill authorizing government to begin the formal process of Brexit has reached its final stage in the House of Commons. For Global Tidbits, Ronke Kolawole, NTA News.
Talking sports now, Team Nigeria set to depart for Togo ahead of Africa's Under-21 Beach Volleyball World Cup qualifiers as the International Association of Athletics Federation upholds ban on Russian athletes. Kenai Mabudike brings us details on Sports Update.
Having concluded their training camp at the Jabi Lake, Abuja, the Nigerian contingent to the 2017 First Phase Africa Zone 3 Beach Volleyball Under-21 World Cup qualifiers is set to depart on Thursday for Lomé, the Togolese capital, where the tournament takes place between February 10 to 13. The men and women teams, which have 4 players each, say they are battle-ready for their Zone 3 counterparts, namely Ghana, Benin Republic and host Togo, in their bid to reach the second phase of the qualifiers in March.
Most of them are new. Especially for the female team, we have just maybe one person who have been played for Nigeria, but the rest of them are newcomers, but they are putting in their best.
Encouraging young athletes to embrace sports through a fusion of academics and mentoring is a sure bet to restoring Nigeria as Africa's sports hub. Former Senate President David Mark made this known at the just concluded 6th Ikweta Mark Golf Championship in Otukpo, Benue State, which saw over 100 players compete in both professional and amateur categories.
If all Nigerians who have the wherewithal, if I may say, encourage, just pick up one game and encourage it, we'll be better off.
The International Association of Athletics Federation, IAAF, is upholding its global...
Mrs. Ruth Harami Bellamy, who died at the age of 59 after a protracted illness. A church service will hold tomorrow, Thursday, 9th of February 2017, at EYN Church, Utako, Abuja, at 9 o'clock in the morning. Interment follows immediately at Gudu Cemetery. Mrs. Ruth Bellamy is survived by her husband, Harami Bellamy, a former member of the NTA board. 5 children, among whom is Mrs. Ladi Zarma, staff of NTA News 24, brothers and sisters. Let's now take a look at the weather picture for Thursday.
This is the weather forecast from Nigerian Meteorological Agency. The satellite imagery behind me, taken 3 p.m. local time on Wednesday, showed dust plume on its way into the country from neighboring Niger Republic. This is expected to keep the northeastern part of the country under thick dust haze condition, deteriorating horizontal visibility further. The central cities and the northwest should be under moderate dust haze condition. Down south, the situation is a little bit different as we expect increased cloudiness and chances of overnight thunderstorms over the high grounds of the southwest. Later in the day, we expect partly cloudiness to prevail over the entire south, with some degree of discomfort due to high humidity and warmer temperature values. The central states and the north should witness increased dust concentration in the atmosphere, capable of worsening respiratory ailments. That's it on the weather. Stay tuned for the temperature forecast.
And that's the news, but before we go, a quick reminder that you can watch all our stories and much more when you log on to our website, www.nta.ng. Thanks for watching NTA News Extra. I am Elizabeth Banu from all of us here. It's good night.